Challenger Series Spring Playoffs. It's time for Game 2 between Curse Academy and LMQ. But first, I'd like to welcome Cloud9's jungler Meteos to the desk. Welcome. So many junglers in the desk all the freaking time. Every single time. So, first of all, let's go into that game. LMQ, of course, looks great. How do you feel about them?
LMQ definitely looks strong. They pretty much got an advantage off level 1 and snowballed it pretty quickly. Yeah,
So Siege comp, I feel like that's kind of the normal thing for LMQ. Do you actually watch the Challenger scene much? Are you well equipped with like LMQ strategies?
we have played LMQ a lot. I don't watch every Challenger game. I try to tune in sometimes, but we definitely scrim LMQ a lot, and they're very familiar and very good at playing the Siege comps that they run with Nidalee, Caitlyn, or Lucian, and they just love pushing down your towers and poking you in.
So from your experience playing against them, how's the best way to kind of circumvent that and knock them down? Because that seemed very convincing.
Well, the best thing to do against a Siege poke comp is just get some really hard engage, whether it be like Leona, Vi, just champions that can get in there. But Curse Academy's team comp that game was a really like snowball-y comp where you have Soraka, Ryze, pretty much all their champions do really well when they're ahead, but when they're behind, they can't actually do that much. And so they had an unfortunate level 1, and they just couldn't really come back.
And from a jungler standpoint, it was Elise versus Xin Zhao, and he was building the new Feral Flare item. And how do you feel about Elise in this patch right now, and how she stacks up against Feral Flare, too?
Well, on this patch, Elise is weaker ever since, I think, 4-4, where she got nerfed.
Yeah.
And so she does get outscaled by a lot of junglers, but what she still has going for her are really strong lane ganks. So she can pressure the lane super hard. So what it comes down to is if the team can avoid getting ganked by Elise early game and can just let Xin Zhao farm up, he'll probably outscale her, but on the level 1, there were 16 summoners below in level 1, all flashes, everything. Xin Zhao lost his both of his buffs basically because he got one and then died at his second buff. So he was just incredibly behind, and at that point, Elise can do whatever he wants because Xin Zhao has no counter pressure. He tried to go for some ganks, which when you're that behind, you kind of have to, but it just delayed his Feral Flare that much more and sort of kept him from scaling. So yeah, things just didn't really go Curse Academy's way that game.
Yeah, I don't think he got it all game, actually. Stuck on Wriggles the whole time. So players are getting ready. So last question for you, actually. Unfortunate level 1s aside, who's your prediction for Game 2?
I think LMQ will take it. They're extremely strong. Nothing against Curse Academy. Maybe they can come back, but LMQ is definitely a powerhouse.
All right, Meteos, thank you very much. Guys, we're about to get ourselves into this Game